Ladies and gentlemen, the starting grid as they have qualified for the Rackley Roofing 200 at Nashville. Getting his first career Truck Series pole, it is Ryan Preece for David Yolen Racing, and another blue oval starting right beside him, Zane Smith for Front Row Motorsports. In row 2, we have Carson Hocevar for Nice Motorsports. Dominated the race early last week, but then had an engine issue and finished 35th. And Corey Heim, running a part-time schedule, has 2 wins this year. Behind them is Derek Kraus, won the pole here last year, and also won the pole last week at Knoxville. And right beside him is Chandler Smith. And then right behind them is Grant Enfinger for GMS Racing, and Matt DiBenedetto in the title sponsor 25. And then rounding out the top 10 in row 5 is Stuart Friesen for Hallmark Friesen Racing, and Jack Wood in the second GMS Racing entry. Starting behind them is John Hunter Nemechek in the third Kyle Busch Motorsports entry, and Ty Majeski for ThorSport. And then behind them is Christian Eckes for ThorSport Racing, and Haley Deegan for David Yolen Racing. And then behind them is Ben Rhodes for ThorSport Racing, and Tyler Ankrum for Hattori Racing. And behind them is Jesse Little for Young's Motorsports, and Matt Crafton for ThorSport. And behind them, rounding out the top 20, is Chase Purdy in the second Hattori Racing entry, and Chris Wright for Nice Motorsports. And then behind them is Blaine Perkins for CR7 Motorsports, and Tanner Gray in the third David Yolen Racing entry. And then behind them is Parker Kligerman in the 75 for Henderson Motorsports, and Dean Thompson for Nice. And behind them, doing a one-off in the 20 for Tyler Young for Young's Motorsports, is Stephen Parsons, and then alongside him is Timmy Hill for Hill Motorsports. Then starting right behind his teammate is Spencer Boyd in the third and final Young's Motorsports entry, and Camden Murphy for On Point. And starting behind them is Caden Honeycutt for G2G Racing, and Lawless Allen for Nice. And starting behind them, the Onion, Todd Bodine, qualified deep in the field after a bad qualifying run. He will start 31st. And then also alongside him, also another guy that has had speed another guy that had a bad qualifying run. It is Colby Howard for in the second McAnally Hilgerman entry. And then Rayum Brothers Racing occupies row 17. Nick Lights in his Truck Series debut, and Chris Hacker. And in the final row, we have Chase Janes in the second G2G Racing entry, and Max Gutierrez making his second career start. 6 trucks missed the race this week, and perhaps the longest entry list since Daytona. Brett Holmes for Brett Holmes Racing, Justin Carroll for Terry Carroll Motorsports, Jennifer Jo Cobb looking to make her season debut but failed to qualify, Clay Greenfield for Cook Racing Technologies, Tate Fogelman went for a spin in qualifying in the second Rackley entry, and Trey Hutchins for Trey Hutchins Racing. And ladies and gentlemen, there's your field for the Rackley Roofing 200 at Nashville.